She's the best real estate in New Jersey.
Well, I love what I do.
You know what is a HELOC is, right? Like a, you know
I know
that,
what a
of
HELOC,
course.
yeah.
So we wanted to use that, like to buy real estate. The backflash, we did a lot of stuff.
What are you thinking that the appraisal will do? So if it appraises for 20,000 more or 30,000, whatever it is,
Yeah.
what do you want from that appraisal to go? Is it to take a loan from it? Whoever you take the HELOC from actually calls in the appraiser. Spend like $400 on an appraisal because appraisals are about.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it sounds like you're gonna do.
That was one option. If you are going to be an investor, you have to consider the risk, obviously, but that's what investors do.
Correct.
You know?
What do you recommend?
Well,
In this
the fact
market?
is, I mean, do you want to be an investor where you own it and rent it out, or do you want to be a fix and flipper investment? That's the key is, I mean, we have plenty of properties that bring in, great income.
Mhm.
So, that if you want, as silly as, I have a bar and 2 apartments in a building, and they're huge income producing. And so if you buy it for $400,000, it brings in almost $6,000 in returns. That's a good investment.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right.
So I know.
And then I have another one, like I'm putting on, actually, I'm gonna probably do it tonight. I have a great 4-bedroom in Boundbrook, 2-car detached garage, not in a flood zone, by a school and a church on one of the best streets. And that you can rent out for at least a couple grand, and that's going to sell for about $225, $250.
Wow.
So, do you want to do you want to build your portfolio and have properties that generate income to you? Because then you don't have to put a lot down. You put 10, 20% maybe down, and it just gives you income.
And
So
it pays for itself.
And it pays for itself, and
Yeah.
you make money, and you own it, so you're building equity in your portfolio. Well, the fact is it depends what you're looking for. So if you talk to your financial advisor, and being that you're also young, what you want to do is build your portfolio.
yeah.
That would be the best instead of flipping it.
Well, do you need?
If we don't need it
So if
cash
you're
now.
fixing and flipping, right? So if you're fixing and flipping, how much do you want to? Are you making 10% on your money? Are you making 20%? By the time you buy it, you update it, you get the permits for it, whatever it may be, and then sell it. You got to carry it 3 months. Well, it depends what the mortgage company that the buyer is using. So a lot of times, if a house has been bought and sold, like you can't buy it and resell it quickly with a mortgage. For cash, yes.
And that doesn't matter, but normally it's 3 months.
Yeah, it's about 3 months. So you're carrying for 3 months. You're carrying taxes, you're carrying, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah.
remember, when you buy something, you have to assume you're going to pay 2% at closing. And you're going to be taking, it depends. If you're going to buy it all for cash, that's one thing. Then your closing costs are minimal. If you're doing a HELOC on this house, meaning you're taking a line of credit on this home, so let's say you take $250,000 on this house. Are you going to split it up amongst a couple properties? Are you going to just buy one and make $20,000 on that? Is it worth it?
But if you spend like 150,000 and you're getting 10%, 12% return in 1 year, that's fine.
Yeah, anything over 6%.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of investors that are just doing for 6%. So they have $200,000, so they're buying a condo, and they make $1,800 a month. There's a separate account. It's an LLC. I always recommend have a separate LLC for this business of fixing, flipping, or investing.
Yeah, I know.
Have a separate LLC, and then what you'll do is you'll say, "Is this works for me?" So if I make $2,000 a month, I'm bringing in $24,000, and my cost is $11,000. So I'm making, $13,000 a year, and it's paying for itself, and it's
You're building equity on
And
the
you're building
Anything
equity.
above 6%.
Huh? Anything at a rate of return of at least 6%. But what
Yeah.
you're doing is you actually have a tangible thing.
What are the risks, right? They ask like, well,
You sell it.
you have an asset. You know, that's your you backup. You know, if you can't afford it or if you can like pay it, just sell it. You know, you're not gonna lose money, but it's not like you're gonna go broke.
What are the main concerns to
Well, the downside if you have an apartment or a house that you rent out as an investor where you keep it and you rent it out, you know, tenants could destroy things. Tenants, you have to, you know, do, if you have to do an eviction if they don't pay. So, you know, the standard is you get 1.5 months security. You get paid on this date, the first of every month. Prior to having them come in, you do credit checks. You know, I have people that would rather keep their place empty than to take any bad credited tenant.
Yes.
So I always say have 3 months, 3 months of, you know, of dollar amount in a bank account to cover you should you be vacant for 3 months.
Yeah.
Usually the rule of thumb is 1 month. I always say have 3. It's sort of like when you get engaged. How many months of your salary should be an engagement ring?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, are you
I asked
making
for
dinner?
this. I asked for toast and
Blueberries and then mostly a lot of more food. So what do you want?
blueberries.
Basically, the downfalls are if it costs you more to fix a house that you're trying to flip, timing wise, that you're carrying it longer.
The market is not gonna go. That's why you buying like cheap. That's why you have to find like.
Right, well, that's why you have to. What you do is you go to sheriff sales. You go to the sheriff sales to get them. Once they hit the market, you're too late.
Yeah.
So you got to get them at the sheriff sale.
Like there's something
But
they
then
call
we
a.
have to get a HELOC because we don't have.
No, but you can just do a mortgage.
For
Without a mortgage?
sheriff sales, usually, right, you have to make sure you're approved for a mortgage, ready to go. What you're doing is you're leveraging your money. That's, you know, really what you're doing.
So I saw this property, it hit the market already, and I know like it's kind of late to consider that as an investment, but I've seen like so many people. I'm not saying it's impossible to get a good deal when it hit the market. It is possible, like, but it's just hard, you know, to find like an investment property. I know that, you know, like there's something they call it's like pocket leasing and all that stuff.
Right, like I have a couple of them right now.
Yeah.
So like I have one in Boundbrook that I haven't put on yet.
You just have here. Let me put on the table.
Now let me eat. It's gonna take a little while. The plate to you when I'm done.
I'm just gonna here.
Oh, great. I'm all done. I'm full.
Alright. Be right back.
Okay.
Closest.
I would make sure there's one full bath upstairs, add another full bath downstairs. I have a powder room, but you add, you know, whatever you want to do. But it has a basement, 4 bedrooms, you know, it's got a lot to it.
Yeah.
Great neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, you know, are you going to make money to fix, to flip? No. This is an investment property where you're going to generate income. The person who owned it for years, and that's what they did. I have clients that I've rented out their townhome for years, probably since I started real estate, so 14 years, and they bought it. They actually lived there. Their kids now go to college. It was for their college fund, their kids' college fund. Luckily, they made money over the years, and they never sold the townhouse. We still rent it out every year. I should have bought condos, rented them out. You know, just renting them out. Right. What a great idea.
So, one of the
I'm
other
not
things.
answering his questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What?
What if we get like a beat up house? A house that is like needs work and the seller is like motivated to sell. So we can get like a real cheap and put like 15-20 grand on the house to fix it, but the value goes like way higher.
If you could do that.
Yeah.
If you could do that, I mean, you got to see. I mean, if it's only a $15,000-$20,000 fix, many people would jump on it. That's why I say the sheriff sales where you're going to do your best. You know, like where I showed you the condo that day, there was a couple that went to sheriff sale. You know, and I have investors that just go to sheriff sale. They get them, they fix them up, and I sell it for them. So you have to have 10% with you at the sheriff sale, a bank check. You have to have bank checks. You know, you'll know what's on the docket. You'll know which houses are going to be up for sheriff sale and what they'll cost, and bring what you're going to offer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about take?
You can see what's coming on, go on the Somerset County, you know, sheriff's sale site, and it will tell you what homes are going, you know, are
Yeah.
gonna be up for a sheriff. And some of them don't make it, the bank buys it back, takes it back before you make it, but, you know, see how the process goes.
So
That's where, if you're gonna do your fix and flips, once it hits the market, or if you have a pocket listing.
but if you have 10% with you can just go, hey, here.
Right,
And then
and
you
then
talk
they
to your bank.
Right.
And they're like,
Right, you have to have all your documents ready to go. This is where you have to have your budget laid out.
mm-hmm.
You know, I have people that have investors that have 5 or 6 properties right now. They're fixing for me to get on the market. You know, they see a good deal, they buy it, and they move on. You know, they may have $1 million in investments out there just waiting to close. No, I do 7 counties.
You do 7?
So I do Somerset, Hunterdon, Morris, Middlesex, Ocean, Essex, and Union. We sell multi-million-dollar homes down there. I'll go as far as LBI for friends, but if I don't have to go
that's
to,
a
you know.
long way.
But we do all of, you know, Lavalette, Bayhead, Manilogan, Brick, Toms River. I mean, you name it.
Well, why don't more people do it?
they're just scared.
No, well,
They
they
don't
just,
know.
you know what? You need to be organized.
You need to have a budget.
You have a budget, you have organization, it's, you know, there's absolutely, you know, and that's why I say have a separate LLC, it's inexpensive. You have an
Yeah.
LLC, have a separate one just for, because that's for your construction company. Have a different one for your investments. I have investors who have a different LLC for each property. So 123 Main Street has its own LLC, its own checkbook. An LLC is a couple $100, it's nothing.
It's
And
something
it's
you
also a
recommend.
tax deduction. Well, it depends. Are you going to do the sheriff's sale, get in, get out? Because if you start doing that, then any of these other houses you're not going to do. Unless you don't have a property you're working on.
So
Because you can't wear yourself thin because you have to make sure your investment gets in and out. You know, you have to decide, do you want to, you know, own another home? Or do you just want it for 90 days in and out? But those, you have to make sure the market and you're getting it at a below market price and that you're not putting in, you know, a lot of money. So you always have to have, and you say $15,000, you know, you need a new roof, you need new siding,
Yeah, I know that.
you need an HVAC.
Let's say a house is priced for 100. We try to get it for 80. So that's what I have. Like if the seller is motivated, like we want to go lower than what's the price he's asking.
Is it where, you know, and
Yeah,
that's where you have to figure out, because that's when you have to say, did I make money on this? Because you have to figure out your labor. What do you make an hour? $50 an hour in your labor? I don't know. You know that. So when we go into a house, you have to price it right then and there. I mean, I have guys that walk in and they go each room. They said, okay, this place to get it to where it's got to be, cabinets, blah, blah, blah. You need to know your numbers and say, this is $21,000. This will sell for $350,000. You know, you got to pay, you figure closing costs are 6%. Realtors fees, taxes, you know, everything. 2% to buy, 6% to sell.
Bye, Michelle. Bye.
Did you come up this way?
Yeah.
Bye, guys.